Officer Torres, Englewood Police Department. The reason I stopped you is because we're obviously out here on a call. You circled the block 3 times. Can I ask what's going on?
Can I ask a question? Did you pull me over for a legitimate reason, or?
Yes, I did. A legitimate reason, because you're acting very suspiciously when we have an investigation underway.
Suspiciously?
And you're continuously circling the block.
Did I break the law?
No, but I'm telling you why I'm stopping you.
Ding, ding, ding,
It's
ding,
not
ding.
unless I've committed a crime.
No, that's not
So
true.
this is an illegal detainment.
It's not an
I'm not
illegal
going to
detainment.
provide you any ID or anything, so if you're going to take me to jail, go ahead and I'll press charges against you and I will see. Listen, I'm not appreciate this. You can bend the camera, and my car also has a depth camera. They pulled me over for no reason.
I gave you a reason.
Suspicion is not a crime.
Okay, and again, I don't need to pull you over specifically for a crime.
Listen, I don't answer questions. Do what you got to do, but I'm not getting rid of people.
Be on your way then.
Can I get the
Nope.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm a law enforcement trainer instructor. I train and instruct law enforcement and military on all various law enforcement disciplines to include constitutional law, case law, patrol tactics, investigations, etc. And let me just start off with, I love this video. I think it's a great video, and I think we can learn a lot from it. And honestly, if more people acted like this driver, and if more people asserted their rights in this way, things in this country would change overnight. Essentially, they would have to. They would be forced to. And so, I have a heart for law enforcement, but law enforcement needs to, they need to do their job within the parameters of case law, court precedents. That's what it comes down to. And so, I think this is great. So let's talk about the various elements. So the first thing we have is what you can see on the screen here, case law on reasonable articulable suspicion traffic stops. The Supreme Court, the court of last resort, has affirmed, and as you can see, numerous circuit courts have affirmed numerous times. And that affirmation is that a police officer may conduct a traffic stop if the officer has reasonable articulable suspicion that a crime or infraction has occurred. A lot of people think that you have to have probable cause of a traffic violation, a moving violation of a crime. That is not true. You just need reasonable articulable suspicion. And again, that's reaffirmed in the Supreme Court case precedents. United States v. Cortez is one of them. Kansas v. Glover actually is another one as it relates to driver's license. And so we know that a police officer, again, may conduct a traffic stop if they have reasonable articulable suspicion. We also know, if we look at our next case law, Brenlin v. California, that a traffic stop is in fact a seizure. 100% is a seizure. Again, this is affirmed by Brenlin v. California, 2007. We also have this affirmed again in Pennsylvania v. Mims. Again, is reaffirmed in Maryland v. Wilson. So we do have a seizure, right? When police make a traffic stop, a passenger and the driver alike is seized for Fourth Amendment purposes, and so anybody in that vehicle that's seized may challenge the stop's constitutionality. So him saying that he can challenge the constitutionality falls 100% in line with what case law says. Again, Brenlin v. California, 2007. And so we have these elements set up. And then, as you guys know, one of my favorites, I think this should be taught in all academies. It's not, but this should be taught. Brown v. Texas, 1979. The Supreme Court has affirmed that law enforcement means reasonable articulable suspicion in order to detain and compel somebody to identify themselves. Again, I don't know why this isn't taught at every academy, reserve academy. It should be taught in college. This should be taught to everybody, not just law enforcement, everybody. This should be taught in high schools, elementary schools, middle schools. I mean, everybody should know what their basic rights are as they relate to detainment and the compelling of identification. And so it's clear this police officer, this female, she did not have reasonable articulable suspicion. She couldn't articulate reasonable articulable suspicion. And in fact, in her convoluted belief, she didn't need it. She was very clear that she doesn't need reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime in order to conduct a traffic stop. So I don't know what she's doing in her day-to-day duties as a patrol officer or whatever law enforcement mission or work that she does, but in her mind, reasonable articulable suspicion isn't a thing. Brown v. Texas isn't a thing. United States v. Cortez is not a thing, and that's concerning. But I love the driver. The driver remained calm, and most importantly, the driver was 100% willing to go to jail. 100% willing to go to jail for what he believed. He wasn't going to have this back and forth. He wasn't going to answer questions. He made it very clear. You're violating my rights. I know you're violating my rights. Do what you have to do. 110% willing to take the ride. And let's be honest, taking the ride probably would have been extremely beneficial. If I'm just being honest with you, between you and me, taking the ride is going to allow you to retire. Right? So now I'm not saying that's why you should take a ride, but it's very clear that he had zero hesitation about taking that ride. He cared about his constitutional rights, as we all should, and he made it very clear that he was not going to be trampled on and bullied that day. And so, I think it's great. And I've talked about this before. A police officer's investigation has nothing to do with, it's like, for example, when he says suspicious. Suspicious is not an infraction. It's not a misdemeanor. It's not a felony. The average everyday citizen is not required to help an officer in their investigation. Simply because they're investigating something does not mean that your constitutionally protected rights go away. Doesn't mean that your freedom of travel automatically goes away just because somebody's conducting an investigation on something that's not even related to you. So again, these are just all important things to notice and to capstone, and I think it's important that we talk about this. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and as always, guys, long live the Republic.